February 1st, 2017. This is the final NFL edition of the Line Sports Talk podcast, at least for this season, hopefully for this season. Hey, folks, super holy smokes, it's come and gone. The season is over. We are coming up on the big game this Sunday, and it's time for pick'ems and predictions and prognostications from your three favorite bullshit artists, Pepper Jack the Big Cheese and Joey Peeps, on the eve of his arrival here in good Tampa International Airport to visit his old pal. Peeps, Pepper Jack, what's up, fellas?
Yeah, it's such a shame. I mean, as much as I hate to leave Ohio, I guess I can come down and hang with your ass for a couple days. I mean, it is great. It is great around here. I mean, gray skies, 30 degrees, and, I don't know. It's tough to leave, but I'll adjust. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Good, man. Looking forward to having you. Having a good time.
Joey, I just want to thank you for letting us all know that you were making plans on traveling. You did this, the Lone Wolf McQuaid, when you went to Las Vegas a couple months ago, and now you're sticking it to us again.
Sneaky, sir.
You got to watch. He's like a coyote, man. He's just up and gone. Up and gone. You throw some smoked beef on the back porch, though, he'll show up again.
Well, I hope you can get on a plane. I hope you're not on the no-fly list.
No. Too blonde and blue-eyed, actually.
Yeah. Joey Peeps is a straight wasp. We'll get on the plane and get down here. We're gonna have a good weekend, enjoying.
Good thing I didn't convert. I thought about it, like Mr. Cat Stevens.
Yeah,
I think you should wear a turban at the airport tomorrow, just to see if you can get a reaction when you're walking.
I would get a reaction, all right, and I'd probably miss my flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So skip the turban.
Did I ever tell you that story? That story a couple of years ago when I was going down to Florida for business. Me and my coworker, who is another WASP, we were standing in line, and he got pulled into the room to be body searched, and while I was sitting outside the bench waiting for him as he was having to get undressed and having to be searched, a couple guys in turbans that looked like they had probably they were carrying like grenade launchers over their shoulders, walked right past the TSA, and I'm sitting there thinking, why is my white Anglo-Saxon American partner sitting in there getting his body cavity searched while these guys with grenade launchers are walking by like no problem, probably smoking cigarettes.
Well, we have an answer to that. Since it's Trump's America, we're allowed to profile again. So there we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's got to be him. Right. Get him. Fair enough, folks. Well, speaking of the profile of the New England Patriots is pretty simple. This team, every year, somehow or another, we always know that we're talking about them in February, and it really does seem that way. Even last year, they were, again, so close. I often think that what that Patriots team would have done with that Carolina Panther team last year, if they would have had the pieces to beat them, I don't know. But this New England team is a lot better than I thought it was. Thought they were really good, but they might be better. The defense is good, but we got a lot to talk about. We'll finish up with our picks, fellas, but where do you want to start, man? It should be a good game. We can probably point out to our listeners what the actual line is. Pepper, you got that in front of you?
Yeah, I'm looking at New England -3, and the total is 58.5.
That 58.5 is pretty wild. Did you see where it opened by any chance?
I believe it was at it was 60? Over 60, wasn't it? Or at 60? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might have been.
I know it opened New England -3.5, so that turned right away. Like after the Sunday nighter came out 3.5, and then changed to 3, and it's been constant for the last leading up to the big game here.
Yeah, I think anybody that had an inkling of hopping on Atlanta jumped on that 3.5 as soon as the number was exposed. This is going to be a good one, though. I've heard a lot of people throughout my travels this week. I saw the Asian TT boy this week. I don't know if you know who that is by any chance.
It's always good to hear.
Yeah, it's a quick story. Pepper, do you remember who TT boy is by any chance?
No.
TT Boy was a late 90s male porn star that was, he was in every porn movie ever made in the late 90s, I think. And I was on my route working down here in Tampa, Florida, on my bright, sunshiny day, roaming this wonderful town. And there's a guy at the gas pump, and I'm unloading a truck, and I'm looking at him, and I'm going, God, that guy looks like TT Boy. Now, granted, he looks like this dude looked 20 years ago. And as I'm watching him, thinking, that's pretty funny. I bet you that's him, and I'm not even thinking that this guy's 20 years younger. But as I go walk into the store and I'm checking out and everything, the guy walks in, he takes his sunglasses off, and I realize he's this big Asian dude. So I'm starting to wonder why I'm walking around thinking I'm seeing TT Boy. I'm having some sort of regression. It might just be porn withdrawal.
Huh.
It's not easy getting old. I don't know.
Not easy. Did you know your generation? Everybody's getting old. And said, oh, you think that might? It's like TT Boy. He still got it. And it turns out it's just some big Asian guy.
Big Asian dude. TT Boy was Puerto Rican.
Mr. Chang.
Who, Leslie Chang?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. I swear to you, it was TT Boy at a time machine. TT Boy circa '99. Good stuff, though. The poor guy. I was dying to say, like, can you put those sunglasses on? Let's take a quick picture. But I didn't want to totally. I didn't want to do it. So anyhow, back to the task at hand here, man. We got the Super Bowl coming up, and I'm blabbling about my fantasy of bumping into male porn stars in convenience store.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's not good. I exposed myself.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I didn't.
Yes. You're like, oh fuck! No, wait a minute, no.
Did I? I hope it. Yeah. That could have been a big mistake.
I heard, awesome. On those lines, I heard, TT Boy when he first started off was doing that kind of stuff.
You never know. I think you're thinking of the great Peter North,
who
is now a weatherman here in Tampa, known as Dennis Phillips, allegedly. Yeah, and I bumped into him in a convenience store one day too, but that's a whole other story for another time. And let's put this game into perspective here. Let's take a look. You've got probably, but barely arguably the best quarterback of all time, the best playoff quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. I don't know did you ask the question which team has the edge here, Atlanta or New England at quarterback? I think the edge is clearly in New England's hands due to the experience, but Matt Ryan is certainly no slouch.
No, you have to give the nod to Brady because of the experience, but yeah, I mean Matt Ryan is playing out of his mind literally right now.
I don't know how you segue into gay porn to the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. Are you okay?
I told you we're hard to follow.
I just wanted to get under center. That's all.
It's a rapid mind.
Yeah, hey, you got to work quick. You got to work quick around here. Yeah, okay, it was a bad segue, and it wasn't gay porn. They did straight films to the best of my knowledge. Had they done anything homo, I don't know. I didn't see it. It wasn't ever my bag, but it was all straight stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Not bringing it up.
It was
one time. Yeah, moving on, man. Brady absolutely owns that offense. I don't see the scenario where this game gets out of control on either end. Did either one of you see this being a possible blowout? Anything like that, potentially?
Nope.
I really think if there is going to be a blowout, I mean, maybe I sound crazy, but I think it'll be Atlanta's doing. I think that offense will click on all cylinders, and they're going to score fast. But I don't think it's going to happen. But I think if it would happen, I think it would be in favor of Atlanta, a blowout.
Well, Tommy and I were talking earlier in the week regarding Super Bowls and the defenses that show up in Super Bowls. Mistake me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but last year Denver's defense showed up in the Super Bowl because Cam Newton was all-world going into that game, and everybody thought we were going to have a heck of a football game, and Denver throttled Cam Newton. I think the year prior to that, Seattle's defense showed up, if I'm not mistaken.
That was 2 years prior.
2 years ago. Yeah, you're right. New England, Seattle played. But remember when Seattle throttled Denver, though, in the Super Bowl then? Yeah, and because Seattle had the defense and Denver had Peyton Manning, and everybody thought, oh, Peyton Manning, but Seattle's defense showed up. So
Right.
So I don't see a blowout.
I don't either, and we were talking also, though, along those lines about how the defense is when you've got this matchup of a quality defense and the best offense in the NFL. More than not, in this matchup, the better defense has won the games. You mentioned Seattle beating up on Denver that year. Denver last year handled a Cam Newton offense that was pretty damn good all year long, and Denver handled them. You can go as far back to the Giants defense that shut down that 15 or 16-0 regular season Tom Brady-led New England Patriots. That was one of the more impressive offenses you'll ever see, and they got shut down. What did Moss score, like 23 touchdowns that year?
I think between Brady and Moss, I think they both set the single-season record that year. Moss for receiving touchdowns and Brady for touchdown passes in a season.
Yeah, that was an offense that the Giants came in. I mean, it shocked me. I thought New England was going to beat them by the touchdown spread that they were laying. I thought they'd win by that, and I was shocked. The good defense tends to have the edge, especially with a good head coach. In this case, with New England, they got a great head coach. It's really tough to lean anywhere outside. And the more and more you watch Tom Brady, he wasn't excellent against Houston, but he was nice against Pittsburgh. He was. Real smooth, real good command of that offense. I don't think anything gets past Brady from
I think he attacked the worst game plan maybe in pro football history with Mike Tomlin. I have no unearthly idea why Pittsburgh decided to play that kind of zone against Tom Brady and the Patriots when everybody knows at the antidote to get to Brady is you got to get to him.
Well, I think a lot of what happened was the adjustments that Brady made. If you go back and watch a lot of that game, I don't know that they went to the line of scrimmage and ran what was called. I mean, there was a lot of adjustments made. He moved Pittsburgh around with a lot of motion. He got them into zone defenses. He moved them around and then ate them alive. And that's what I mean by Brady just owning that offense. He's got such great command that I think he can call you into the play he needs you to get into when he's got a feel for what that D coordinator's doing. It's impressive. You watched Breeze do it a few years ago when that team won a Super Bowl, and Breeze was tremendous. You watch Manning do it all the time. Brady's doing it, and he's talented. It's fun to watch.
Well, I don't know if you saw the interview with Dion Lewis, I believe, after the Patriots-Steelers game when they asked him a question regarding Tom Brady. What's it like playing for – no, I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was Chris Hogan who had a great game against Pittsburgh. And they asked Chris Hogan last year, you're on the team in Buffalo. Did you ever think that you'd get to be playing with Tom Brady, and what's it like playing with Tom Brady? And he just basically stated that for 60 minutes, Tom Brady is focused on nothing but football. And I don't think anybody can even stand on the sidelines and joke or goof around during those 60 minutes if Tom Brady's present, because he won't stand for it. And for 60 minutes, he just demands everybody be on the same page and focused. And he said he's never been around anyone that's more focused than Tom Brady. So,
I believe it.
That makes sense. And
I mean,
you see Tom Brady's demeanor.
This is a result-driven league, and his results say to all of us that there's no screwing around. And I can't imagine Manning was much different.
Yeah, I agree. But here's the deal with Brady. Brady was a sixth-round draft pick however many years ago, and every time he steps on the football field, he doesn't forget the fact that he was a sixth-round draft pick. And, I think
tremendous point.
That's the motivating force behind him. I'm not saying that's the reason why Tom Brady is great, but
that's
it's quite obvious. Yeah, he's just like he wants to show you. He wants to show you.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Chip on his shoulder, yeah.
I find myself watching the Patriots all the time. I see a new guy catch the ball every week, and I have to pull. I look at my TV screen, have to pull a Conor McGregor. Like, who the fuck is that guy? I mean, where does he come from? It's almost like I watched Deion Sanders today, and he made a comment. I actually agree with this. It makes perfect sense. It's almost like Tom Brady walks into a random park and sees guys playing touch football, and he goes up to some guy and goes, "Hey, you want to come play for the Patriots? I'll make you famous."
Hey, Mark Wahlberg, come here.
Well, we all saw that last year in April when the Patriots signed Chris Hogan. That guy's just going to fit right in where they need him. He was the perfect fit, and he just, like Joey, you said a few weeks ago, like the Edelmans and the Amendolas.
It's like they create him an assembly line. It's like they're like the same guy. They run like the same routes. They have the same skill set. They look all and shoulder pads and helmet. They look the same.
And you know what it is?
It's really ridiculous.
You know who the first little slot receiver in the NFL? Huh?
Wes Welker.
Before Wes Welker, it was
Lance
Ricky
Allworth.
Prohl. Remember Ricky Prohl?
Ricky Prohl was a little bit bigger, though.
Well, yeah, but he was that same mold, that same type of receiver, though, that found a way to get open.
Why? Because he's white?
I'm not saying that. I don't know. I only could see the color of the uniform the man was wearing.
Yeah, I don't. I know Ricky Prohl's white.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's just like the old days of Ricky Prohl, and I think that's kind of the thought process when the Patriots go out and they grab a Chris Hogan. Well, you're right though. It's Edelman. It's an Edelman / Welker role, but
yeah, it's a really impressive skill set though, because the skill set's so simple. Just stay underneath, catch everything. Everything. None of those guys are absolute burners. I mean, I think out of all three of them, Chris Hogan is probably your fastest player.
You know what, though? Just such precise route running and just knowing your assignment and knowing exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well,
it's ideal. Yeah.
It helps that Julian Edelman and Tom Brady are best friends, and I believe that they are both California boys, probably spend an awful lot of time in the off season together, and they probably
see, I don't know. That seems like an odd couple to me. Seeing Julian Edelman chug beers on a parade float, and seeing how Tom Brady seems to conduct himself off the field with that, that almost obsessive Nazi-like diet, crazy diet that he does, and not really being in the limelight. They seem like they're kind of like the two polar opposites as far as people off the field.
I wouldn't put too much thought in it.
No.
Yeah. Anyhow, so those are the weapons, man. You look at guys like Edelman, Hogan. Brady's got weapons. Brady's got protection up front. Let's shift gears to Matt Ryan over here. Matt Ryan
talk about weapons.
Boat. Yeah, Matt Ryan has the full boat, man. He's got aces and kings. He's got playmakers. These guys win matchups. When you go back and you watch a lot of the things, Julio Jones, when healthy, doesn't lose a lot of matchups with a whole. I'm going to jump right to Julio Jones. He doesn't seem to lose a lot of matchups with too many corners and DBs. I think he's stronger than just about every DB he'll face.
Yeah, or
Sunday,
if any. I mean,
throughout the season.
It's like the closest thing to the most unguardable receiver you have in the NFL. He really, when he is on his game and he is fully healthy, it is almost the equivalent of what a healthy Randy Moss used to be back in the day. He's almost impossible to cover.
Yeah, I think that Moss had a little bit more like that open gate speed. I think Moss was just a little bit better down the stretch, but and maybe Moss just looked faster as he would glide as an athlete.
Yeah, but I think Julio Jones is bigger and strong. Not bigger, like his height. Strong.
He is absolutely meatier and just longer and stronger than Randy Moss. Randy Moss was a stick figure who could fly. He almost fluttered to the ball like a feather, whereas Julio Jones is like a big, lanky giraffe just flying down
not
the
to
field.
mention Randy Moss could jump through the roof.
Yeah, he could. He was like a deer. But, yeah, Julio Jones, really impressive athlete, man.
Well, I'll bet you every time the Cleveland Browns watch Julio Jones, they kick themselves. Do you think?
Somebody does. Somebody somewhere is, and it's not just the Browns fans. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Some ex-Browns GM sitting back there sipping on a beer on his couch watching this game like, oh, my bad, dude.
Wasn't it Mike Holmgren? Wasn't it Holmgren that traded for the 6 picks?
Well, no. Do you want to know who the Browns received by allowing Atlanta to move up on draft day in 2011 to grab
I know none of
Julio
them
Jones?
are on that team. I know none of them are there anymore.
You think?
Like Phil Traylor and those guys? Yeah, it was garbage.
Well, I'll tell you what they got. In 2011, yeah, they had nose tackle Phil Taylor.
Yeah, okay.
Wide receiver Greg Little.
Oh, there's a player.
And in the third round, they went out and snatched Owen Marichek from Stanford, who I liked him, but
was he a fullback?
Running back, fullback, but he didn't last very long in the NFL.
You're drafting a fullback in the third round. Get out of here.
They're so highly used in today's NFL.
Yeah, get out of here. That's awful.
But then in 2012, they got two picks from that, which they used on the third overall pick, the great Trent Richardson, and also the very, very reliable quarterback Brandon Whedon at number 22. So, yeah, great job. Great job, whoever was running the Browns.
Brandon Whedon's first game got caught underneath the flag in the national anthem. It's like that just summed up his entire career or whatever it was.
That was I'm telling you, it was Mike Holmgren. I remember at the time
he was the guy that back then, right?
Yeah, he was the GM, and I think that when Holmgren did it, I remember thinking like, okay, 6 picks. This is a nice move.
What's GM stand for? Genuine mutt.
Go, man. You out. That was terrible. But initially, the 6 picks, if you tell me I'm going to give you my 6th overall and you're going to give me 5 picks or whatever it was, that has a lot of potential.
Yeah, well, if you're a team like the Browns were that needed them draft picks for future to build that team, but out of 6 picks, do you think you might have maybe gotten one ace in the hole?
You had to hit 2 of them. You should have.
Yeah, but really, if you think about it, the Browns been building for the future since 1999.
Yeah,
they have. But Julio Jones wouldn't have helped that Browns team. Now, keep in mind, if I'm not mistaken, that Atlanta team had a 4-12 and a 5-11 season with a young Julio Jones. But he wasn't going to help a Cleveland Browns team by any stretch. He was going to go waste his career in Cleveland, much like Evan Longoria is pissing away his career in Tampa. Sorry, but that's been bothering me lately.
It's okay. We understand.
I know. I'm going to be all right, I think. But, so we've established that Matt Ryan's got weapons, and Julio's one of them. How about the 2 running backs?
Oh, they're phenomenal.
Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. I mean, really, this Atlanta offense is pick your poison. I mean, if you focus on stopping the run, I mean, you risk the chance. Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu is a quality number 2 receiver you have there. Taylor Gabriel is a capable number 3. Then if you focus on stopping the pass and Julio Jones, I mean, these guys, Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman can slice you up. So this is a very, very hard offense to defend.
That tight end Hooper is not. He's going to be a good ball player, I believe, too.
He is.
I think he's a rookie this year, but give him some time.
And Matt Ryan is doing a good job of spreading the wealth and getting everybody involved as well.
And that's because Matt Ryan has a solid offensive line this year.
It's just a complete offense.
Although I don't know how healthy Alex Mack is going into Sunday. So
I think he's fine. From what I heard today, I know he hadn't practiced this week, sprained ankle. Or swollen ankle, bruised ankle.
Yeah, like a fibula issue, I believe.
Whatever, but I think, these guys, he'll be okay. He's going to play, but he's so important. If he doesn't play, I think that if he does not play, you pound New England.
Yeah. Well,
pound.
On the other side of the ball, too, I think Atlanta has made leaps and bounds on defense, and they've really started to muster up an actual pass rush. And
Vic Beasley has 15 sacks this year.
Yeah, Vic Beasley had a great year.
Yeah, Beasley's solid, and Deion Jones is really coming into his own, too, as a linebacker.
The other kid from Florida is not bad either. The safety, Keanu Neal, is a thumper.
And that makes you wonder, because if you can get to Tom Brady, you've got a shot. I mean, that's been proven before.
I'm going to tell you something else about Vic Beasley that you guys want to know. They played the annual Madden Challenge, player versus player. Vic Beasley played Martellus Bennett, and he routed him.
Who?
Just saying.
Who
Beasley beat Martellus Bennett in the annual Madden Challenge. They played this weekend. That has a tendency to point in a direction as to how the game goes.
Huh.
Yeah. It's just like the Madden curse. You put Gronk on the cover this year, boom, hurt. I don't believe in curses. But anyhow, carry on. I so rudely interrupted, and then I lost my train of thought because I saw something about women's volleyball. I'll be okay. Go on.
I'm ready to go for the picks now.
Okay, well,
what do you say?
Man, I'm so torn on this. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show here, the line New England's laying 3, over under 58.5. I'll tell you that over under scares the hell out of me. I think that that we've talked about it all season long, that Bill Belichick is the expert at taking the other team's 5-star, taking their ace, taking their focal point of the offense and shutting it down and then making that team beat him with everything else. In this case, I look at Atlanta having so many weapons that if you're Bill Belichick, the one thing you can do is do everything you can to not let that offense on the field. I think that this is, if it goes as planned, it's the LeGarrette Blount show until Brady can beat you over the top. That's a fast running around, flying around Atlanta defense, and I think if you can get them to give chase and beat them up with the run, there's a pretty good possibility you can catch them off balance and beat them deep. I look for LeGarrette Blount to take over the game. I think New England finds a way to win it in a pretty tight one. I'm going to say 21-17 New England Patriots, as much as I absolutely hate that.
That is like, 20 points under the total.
Yeah, these are two good teams. I just think New England wins this on sheer experience alone, because I'll tell you, if you asked me 2 days ago, this thing's rolling around in my gut like a stuck peanut telling me that Atlanta blows them out.
Yeah.
And because of the defensive paradox here, I can't do it. I think that tradition says New England wins this game.
I think, Belichick with 2 weeks to prepare, that's solid as well.
Yeah, there's too many factors pointing in New England's favor, but I certainly wouldn't count this Atlanta team out of anything. I hope and plan for a very good game.
Well, I'll go next if that's okay, Joe.
Go ahead.
I will tell you that I'm looking at the computer pick for this game, and I did not think by any means that Atlanta would win in a computer-generated matchup 29-21. That's what the experts are saying, or the computer is saying. I simply do not believe that Atlanta's secondary is going to be good enough to stop Tom Brady. Atlanta, they win games by outgunning their opposition. As we know that, Matt Ryan what did he put on 20 quick points against Green Bay in the NFC Championship game?
Turnovers played a factor. Yep.
Yes, but I know Atlanta scores an awful lot of points. They also give up a lot of points. I don't know. They've been solid pretty much all season long. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a shootout. I got a vibe. I'm with Joey. You give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare a game plan. He's going to figure out the weaknesses in Atlanta. I think it's going to be Atlanta's secondary. So I'm thinking they're going to pass the ball. I think Brady came out against Pittsburgh and threw the ball maybe the first 7-8 times, didn't he, before they ran the ball?
And then my satellite went out, but yeah.
But so I see a lot of Tom Brady. I see a lot of Tom Brady picking on that secondary. I see what we were talking about previously to being on the radio or on the talk show with Chris Hogan and Julian Edelman. And who knows, maybe Malcolm Mitchell is healthy enough to spread the field this weekend. I'm going with the New England Patriots, but I'm going to go in a close one. New England 31. Atlanta 26. I believe you're right. I think the game goes under. 58.5 is an awful lot of points.
Yeah, it sure is. The Pro Bowl should have taught everybody that lesson at 80.5. Over under that biggest trap.
80.5?
It was 80.5 the other night. Yeah, the only play was under. Think about that. That's 3 touchdowns a quarter.
Wow.
Yeah, think about it.
I don't know. That just kind of screams at you, don't watch the Pro Bowl, which I did not.
Well, I watched it. I'm a fucking degenerate.
Whatever. But anyway, I think getting into this pick here, I think this is a really, really good matchup. I'm actually excited for this game.
That's all the time we have for tonight. So.
You.
It's going to be a huge game. I'm going to win big.
Hey, and my conclusion, it's going to be a really good game. Good night, folks.
I'm going to be.
Joe, everybody's waiting with bated breath for your pick here, man.
Everybody's going to love your pick, Joe. Your pick is going to be the greatest pick ever.
You guys make me blush. What can I say? I'm doing
a horrible Donald Trump imitation. Sorry.
Well, I mean, hey, let's just calm down. I know more about the Falcons than Dan Quinn does. Just listen.
I know more about ISIS than the generals do.
But anyway, I don't think you guys brought up the X factor in this game that I was thinking about. And I think this will play into the Falcons' favor. Is this game is indoors?
Never mind.
Will you guys let me make my fucking pick, please? I'm gonna hang up, and I'm gonna hang up and let you guys do the show from now on. You're gonna lose all 10 of your listeners.
I'm gonna pick you up at the airport then.
Yeah, right. How you getting home there, Honcho?
That's all right. Clearwater Beach is a nice place, but
it's a good place to get lost in.
Anyway, I think the X factor though is in this game. I think it is this game indoors will favor the Falcons. I think this is a great matchup. New England, Belichick, all that is to be said, but blah blah blah. 2 weeks to prepare, but I have this feeling that this is Matt Ryan's moment to shine. I think he'll be the MVP of this game. I think it's going to be a great game, nip and tuck, back and forth. But I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons in conclusion to win this game. 31-27. Do the math, right at the 58 mark.
I like it. No, I like that somebody went contrarian with this and had the cojones to take the Atlanta Falcons, because I really want to. If when you get down here, Joe, we're going to go to the horse track. We're going to watch the ponies thunder around the turn. We're going to drink cold beverages, and we're going to sit out in 78-degree weather, and we're going to talk about how we're going to play this game on Sunday. We're also going to buy a bunch of squares at every place in town that offers it. But I'm glad somebody took Atlanta here, because I would really like to lean in that direction, but I just don't know if I can drop them on the table like that. I just don't know, but I think it's a good pick, man. I think I'm going to
root for Atlanta myself personally. I am a Tom Brady fan. I don't like Belichick too much. I mean, he is a great coach, but something about his snarky personality just reminds me of somebody I wouldn't want to spend a whole lot of time with, you know?
I love him.
You love fucking Peter North and KK Tomboy or whatever the hell you were talking about earlier.
Tomboy. Nice.
This is all. Hey, look, I asked for it.
I think
it's true.
Maybe you should go to that gas station before you go to the ponies and see if PK Tomboy wants to go with you.
I tell you what, you would want to go. You would probably want to go somewhere with TT Boy.
Hey, dude, TT Boy, you want to go play the ponies with me?
Yeah,
I would. Wherever TT Boy goes, the women follow. I told you I met Randy West when I was in high school.
And now, who is Randy West?
Randy West was
your.
He was a.
Did you watch a lot of porn when you were younger, or what?
How else do kids learn? How sex ed classes is out of school, so how else do kids learn how to fornicate?
Yeah, no, I fucking Randy West. That's how. We were at a local, me and a handful of buddies in high school. We were at a local adult establishment. By the time we turned 18, we piled in the car and drove the car to Dale Mabry and guzzled beer in the parking lot and paid our cover charge with our meager paychecks. And we went in there and hung out, and holy shit, in walks Randy West. And he was in there scouting for new girl talent and talking to these girls, and he was cool as hell, man. We talked to him for a while, and he told us, he's like, you guys are going to see this girl coming up. Her name's Jenna Jameson. And we were all like, yeah, okay, tell us more, Randy, tell us more. And sure as shit, she went on to take the porn world by storm.
I didn't know she got her start there in Tampa.
She didn't. She was. He had been driving around and going club to club finding girls, and somehow or another, I don't remember the story, but somehow or another he found her, and she hadn't been. We don't even know who he was talking about, but he told us her name and wrote it down because he signed autographs for all of us that we didn't ask for.
I remember hanging out at that same establishment back in the early '80s or middle '80s when all the Major League Baseball teams had their spring training down there. And right. I remember hanging out one night with one Darryl Strawberry and one Dwight Gooden when they were playing with the Mets.
Doc in the Straw. That was a wild night.
Yeah,
I still have the
Straw. That's when the Straw was having a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, he was.
Well, I mean, Doc, birds of a feather flock together, and I know, like I said, Doc had the same checkered past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or as they say, I don't know. Maybe he still does.
Well,
very cool.
On that somber note, fellas, I'd like to thank both of you for your efforts and this first complete year of the Line Sports Talk podcast. We did it. We made it to the crossroads. 82 episodes completed, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it was 82 completed and aired episodes. And we gathered a lot of new listeners, a lot of new friends on YouTube this year. We had some great sponsorship from the people at Sunday Swim. We had a blast. I know you guys will both attest to this. We had a blast playing on the Sunday Swim app this year. It actually changed the way my football season went. It was a lot of fun. And I ask all you listeners to go out there and check them out. Be ready for it next year. And when we come back next year, because we will be back, Sunday Swim will be back too, and they're going to be coming back even stronger, and that website's going to be cool. We're going to get it going from the beginning. I'd like to thank Harbor Mike out there for coming on and doing the fantasy stuff with us all season. That was awesome. And I'd like to thank our friends at sportscoasttocoast.proboards.com. Go check out their forum and talk about sports if you're out in the great Northwest. Joey Peeps, Pepperjack, you guys got anything to add?
Well,
no, it's been a fun time. Hopefully we haven't lost our listeners too much money. I think we've been pretty good all year. I remember a few weeks we were 14-2 and 13-3. So that was a pretty good week. I know we've been above water all season. I don't think any of us have had a really horrendous week. And it's funny because the local newspaper here where I'm at, every Sunday I'll go and look at the experts' picks, and I'll match myself up against them. And, man, I don't know. We don't get paid to do what we do, but these guys do, and it's kind of embarrassing for them, especially that guy I picked on all year on CBS who's just atrocious. But anyway, it's been fun. I hope the listeners won some money, and we'll be back next year and be better prepared, and keep listening.
Well, those so-called experts that pick these games are like those religious freaks that predict the end of the world and get everybody to, buy in on all their stuff. And then when their pick is wrong, they're like, "Oh, sorry, dude, my bad."
Did I say September of 16? Oh no.
What I meant we have it next year after these last 13 days or whatever. I don't know.
Did I say the Ravens would cover?
We might not be allowed on the radio.
Yeah, we will, and if we're not, we'll move to South Korea where everything is rosy.
Rotate.
Where they sit at a borderline and stare at each other all day long.
That's right. Look at those assholes in North Korea. They can't do anything. Yeah, it's good stuff.
You think they sit there in Korean and whatever the translation of Korean and sit there like Randy Marsh and go, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?"
I'd love to know the translation because I would use it. So that said, man, Pepper, Jack, thanks a lot. Joey Peeps, get on a plane, get your ass down here. Let's get this weekend festivities rolling. You can check us out on Twitter at TL317. You can visit Joey Peeps on Twitter at Joey's Big Mouth. It's one of my favorite pages on Twitter because Joey's an asshole, and he puts some funny shit out there, and I love him for it. So anyhow, folks, you guys, thanks a lot. Happy New Year. We'll be back in a few weeks doing some other stuff. I don't know what yet, but hopefully it's fun. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night.
You guys can always suggest us ideas.
Yeah, we like ideas. Have a good one. We'll see you.